yes, they are handmade. Of course I know they're handmade. But so are the rest of all of the bags that I currently have. They're also handmade and none of them look like that. Hey everyone, and welcome back to a brand new video. I received a question about my opinion on Chanel's quality. I was asked over Instagram, and the person asked me and said, seeing as you're always in the boutique, which I don't know if I am, but what she meant was that you've handled quite a few bags in boutique and you have some of your own, and what is your opinion on the quality? So she keeps hearing that the quality has been declining, and yes, I would agree, and I'll explain that in a bit, but in short answer is yes, I have noticed declining quality, but also across other luxury brands as well. We always hear people saying that, it's not the same, that, they'll talk about like Louis Vuitton, they'll talk about various other brands, and they'll say that the quality is just not how it used to be. And I do think that is very true. Yes, the quality has been declining. It could be because of our expectations, because of these huge price increases. We also expect proportionate increase in quality, but let's face it, the prices are increasing, but the quality is either the same or somewhat dwindling. So I thought I'd address that, and I thought I'd share a recent shopping experience I had, and I thought it would be like a learning point for some of you. At first I wasn't, I talked to a few of you guys about it, but I thought I'd make a video, and that way there's something to learn for all of us and something to watch out for if you are on the hunt for this bag. So I don't need to go over why I love the Trendy CC so much. I love this bag so much. I love the color, I love the lambskin, I love everything about this bag. And I did a review. If you haven't watched it, I will link it in the description box. But in that video I did mention that I love this bag so much that I am even considering adding another color to my collection, okay? Another 2 colors to my collection if that right color comes along. But I was considering adding a black, finally adding a black. So one of the reasons why I was on the fence about ever purchasing the Trendy CC was because I could only imagine it in black. And I have so many black bags, so I'm like, I don't need another black bag. But I only like the Trendy CC in the black. Until this color came around, and then I fell in love with it, bought it. Long story short, I love this to bits. But I see it's almost spring, summer, and then there's people racing in their motor cars outside. Hopefully it's not my husband. No, it's not. Anyway, I had, told a few of my essays, hey, if you do end up getting a black one, please let me know. If you end up getting a beige one, let me know. If you end up getting another color, please let me know. And, as we know, in Canada, if there are bags that are popular, I know the Trendy CC is popular, I know the Coco Handle is popular, Classic Flap is popular, there's a lot of popular bags, okay? And it's getting harder and harder to get these bags, and I've addressed that in the previous video, my FOMO video, partly because of the revolving lockdowns we've all been having, and then also resellers, people who are buying bags and then hoarding them to sell and all that stuff. So if you haven't heard that rant, that's in another video, and various other YouTubers have picked up on this and have also done other videos in response, so that's great. So let's keep the discussion going. But it's a draw, right? It's a lottery system. So, if a bag comes in that a lot of people are asking for, then what happens is all the sales associates are picked out of a lottery, and then if they are drawn for that bag, what will happen is that they'll give, the boutique manager will allow them to sell that bag to their client, okay? So, and if that client passes, they'll give it back to the next client. So one of my friends on here had messaged me and said, hey, I got drawn for a black Trendy CC. I was like, great, that's amazing. And then she messaged me later and she said, actually, there's another Trendy CC available who, another person that's actually a follower on my Instagram, she had sent her essay's contact because she was also on the list for a Trendy CC in black, and she, didn't end up taking it. It was available, so there's an essay at a different boutique. It's a boutique inside a shopping mall, and I do shop at that boutique, but I've only purchased like 1 or 2 items for this particular essay. I don't always deal with this essay. So I messaged her and I said, hey, I would be interested in getting this bag. Because it was initially reserved for somebody else who then passed it on to another person who then passed it on to me. Typically the boutiques don't really, you know, do that. Like typically the rules are that it has to go to the next person in line, but I was told, hey, if you pay for it, it's yours. So I was like, yes, 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 please. I would love to have this, and I'll, you know, pay for it and then I'll pick it up. And this is about 2 weeks ago when everything was closed. So right now we've opened up at, say, like 25% capacity for retail stores. So anything that was purchased has always been delivered or curbside pickup. So this was during the pre-sale for 21S, and I had gone there, I paid for it, and I got to pick up the bag and come home. So I went about my day. When I got home, I opened up the box, and I didn't film an unboxing for YouTube. I didn't think that anybody would be too excited about seeing a black Trendy CC. There's a lot of videos on that, so I wasn't going to unbox this bag for YouTube. But in the history of my shopping, what I have done is I've always set up a tripod or filmed unboxing anything that I purchase of this sort, and I think it's always a great idea because you can really capture the packaging and all that, but most importantly, you have video documentation of how you receive the bag. So if you are shopping from boutique, or if you're shopping from, say, a reseller, personal shopper, or if you're shopping pre-loved and it's being shipped to you, at least when you open the box, do film it, because then you have documentation of how that item arrived to you. I opened it and I'm like, something doesn't feel right. Like as soon as I opened it, I was like, this doesn't look right. And I'm looking at it and like the flap was crooked and the bottom was wonky. And I'll insert photos here, but I was like, you know, like my brain started automatically, and like I do like watch TikTok and all that right in my spare time. I think a lot of us do. And there's this sound, this music that came to my head. It's like it's the sound that, you know, captures the utter disappointment you feel after such heightened anticipation. Yeah, so that was my reaction of opening this bag, and some of you might not notice it, but I sent photos to a bunch of you on Instagram and everyone was like, what the hell is that? And I had to pull out my Trendy CC, one that is like in absolutely perfect condition. I looked at it and I'm like, there's something that's not right. So I noticed that the proportions were slightly off. The lambskin felt terrible in comparison to mine, and there was puckered stitching at the bottom, so it was like pulling in on the bag, and the bottom was crooked in relation to the flap, or the flap was crooked in relation to the bottom. But long story short, it was not a good piece at all. And this is that was a 31 series, which is the current series right now. And it was a brand new piece. Like it had the stickers and everything. It came out of the packaging. When I went and I picked up the bag, the sales associate was like, don't worry, it's completely brand new. And I looked at it and it's perfect. And I'm like, yeah, that's fine. Like, I mean, it's a black Trendy CC. There's nothing really that I have to inspect, which is so weird because I always inspect everything when I buy it. But it's just maybe because like during lockdown, I had quite good luck with items, that anything that I've ordered unseen have been fine, right? Because usually you see when you buy, especially a pricey item, but you know, stores were closed and I couldn't go. And also my thought process was, well, this is a brand new piece. and the stores have been closed, so there's no customers in there fondling the bag or, you know, like getting their grubby hands all over it. Like, these are brand new and in pristine condition, so there should be no problem. But it arrived like that, you know? So when I opened it, I was really shocked at, like, how did this even make it past quality control? How did this even make it to the floor? And how come nobody saw how messed up this looked? And, you know, it was, I saw photos of, like, there's another seasonal color out, which is a beige this season, which is a very light pinky beige. And I saw photos of it online because I was thinking of maybe if there's a beige available, if it's a darker beige, I'll be interested. And I saw photos from, like, resellers on Instagram, and oh my god, I was like, this bag looks like it's seen better days, because it looked mangled, it looked like it was old, like it really did not look good. And I'm like, okay, well maybe it's just the quality and the lighting. So with this bag, I was like, yeah, no. Right away, I put it back into the box, and I texted that sales associate. I said, thank you so much. I opened the bag, and this is what I'm seeing, and I sent photos. And the response I got back was, oh, you know, I'm sorry that you had this problem, but she's like, that's what happens with a handmade bag. These are handmade bags. They're very soft bags, and they'll settle over time. And I'm like, I mean, I know, like, they try to say, like, they're handmade, okay? But my response to that is, yes, they are handmade. Of course I know they're handmade. But so are the rest of all of the bags that I currently have. They're also handmade, and none of them look like that. So that's my firm stance, is, like, I own handmade bags, okay? They don't look like that at all. And I said, you know, I'm gonna be bringing this back. Just my luck, the next day, the malls and everything had opened at 25% capacity, and of course there's going to be lineups and all that, and it's also a weekday too. So I wrapped up the bag. I was able to take out time just before the mall opened, so I got there at like 10:45. The mall's opened at 11. Got into the parking lot. A lot of things were closed off, so they wouldn't let you get into the underground parking. There's no valet parking, nothing like that. And I saw the lines, and they were absolutely horrendous. So I called her and I said, hey, listen, I'm in the parking lot. Can I just do a curbside return? Okay, like, I'll give it to you and we can just do it, because I don't have time to stand in line, and I'm not going to look at anything right now. And here in Canada, if you return anything, it is a store credit at Chanel. So I was going to have, like, a massive store credit. And I said to her, I said, well, you know, is it possible to be given a full refund, because this is a bag that I didn't purchase, like, I didn't see it, I wasn't sent photos or anything like that. I didn't ask for photos, because it was a very, like, quick, yes, it's mine, like, you know, so I can reserve it and it won't be sold to anybody else. So there's that, like, pressure. And she said, no, I don't think, like, I can't give you a refund. And she wasn't really too well versed with, like, the electronic payments and all that, but maybe she just didn't want to make it complicated. So I was like, okay, and I didn't have time either. So I gave her the bag, and I said, you know what, I'll let you keep the store credit in your safe. Because she said there's probably going to be some shipments coming in. Maybe if there's a one in there, then I can set that aside for you. I said, that's great. You can keep the store credit, and I'll touch base with you in a couple of days when I can make an appointment to come in. So she was off for the next 2 days, and then I would have had an appointment to come in on the Thursday to go see the bag if there was available. And Thursday rolled around, nothing had come in, and I had said, so could you please ask your manager if I could get a full refund, because there isn't anything else that I'd like to purchase. There's nothing in the store, and I have already made some smaller purchases, which I'll probably show you maybe soon, but small purchases. And, you know, I could have used my credit for that, but I didn't, and, you know, there's nothing really else that I would buy. So they had agreed to give a refund, so it all worked out, and I did have to go in person on another day, stand in line and get the full refund, but I have the full refund, which is great. So it did work out in the end. But I've seen that lesson learned is always inspect your bags if you can. You know, this is a very unique situation because the stores were closed, plus this is an in-demand item, and you had to, like, pay for it in order for it to be reserved for you. Like, they couldn't put it on hold. So that's my lesson, is that no, I'm gonna just go and inspect it, because I didn't expect for these bags to have that quality issue, especially since I've had such an amazing experience with the current one that I have. I spoke to some of you, and apparently with Trendy CCs, the colored versions don't tend to have issues, but the black ones apparently do. I'm not too sure about that, but another friend of mine also got her 31 series black small Trendy CC, and she sent me a video of it, and I noticed right off the bat her flap was way more crooked than mine. The bottom was fine, but she had a scratch on it, so she had to take it back. There was another Trendy CC that was offered to me by the same boutique again in black, and I saw photos of it, same crooked flap. I saw a beige Trendy CC in boutique. It was set aside for me from my essay. He's like, I have a surprise for you. I'm going to show you this to you. And then he took it out of the packaging, and right away that flap was crooked, like super crooked. And I'm like, this is the exact same problem. And he also saw it and said, yeah, like, because I sent him photos of the black Trendy compared to my green, and he's like, yeah, there definitely is something off. So just something for anybody to keep in mind. Sometimes flaps can be crooked because of the turn lock, so that can actually be tilted and fixed. So sometimes they do that, or it can be kind of molded. But if I'm spending that kind of money, like, I do not want to have to deal with trying to mold a bag for it to look straight. It should come out looking straight to begin with. So I've noticed that, and some theories that I have are this bag is really popular and there has been delayed production because of the lockdown, delayed shipments and all that, and you know, things that were, you know, 2 seasons prior are trickling in now. So the shipments have been kind of spotty. But it could be that there's just been such rushed production. So if anybody's gonna go shop for a bag, particularly for a 31 series Trendy CC, please check it, okay? There are other Trendy CCs that I've seen. There's a beautiful cobalt blue out that I've seen in person, which is a 31 series, and it looked beautiful and there was no problems with it. So I think whatever that other person had told me, it might be true that the colored versions, maybe they're made with different leather, I don't know, but that they tend to have less issues than, say, the black one. So just bear that in mind. The ones that I'm seeing on Instagram that are new, that are from this collection, look crooked. It is a sad thing that such, you know, these brands, like not just Chanel, but looking at like other brands like Louis Vuitton, or from, you know, I haven't really heard so much quality issues about Dior, to be honest, but it's sad that these items are so expensive and there are quality issues. Like, there really shouldn't be any quality issues. And if you find that you are not happy with a certain product, if you receive it, voice your concern, right? Because I do have people messaging me about, I saw this bag in boutique and I saw this little, there's this part, like there's thread sticking out, or the flap is crooked, but the essay is saying that no, that's normal. No, be firm. Like, they shouldn't look like that, okay? Maybe it's normal because it's not considered a defect, but if you don't personally like it because of how it looks, then you need to stand your ground and say, no, like, I don't want this, please show me another, or try to order me another one. In this case, I bought it sight unseen, which is risky. It did work out in the end, but I could have been stuck with a, you know, a very hefty credit if I wasn't blunt with my concern, okay? So don't be afraid to say it like it is. Be like, no, this is not acceptable and we need to change it. So I don't currently have the black Trendy CC. I am still open to getting one if one comes around. But definitely, if I'm going to be getting it and the stores are open, of course I'm going to inspect it first. And if there is anything over the phone, I'm not going to rush to just pay for it so I can get it. I'm going to see, like, you know what, put it on hold for me if you can. I'll come and inspect it. Otherwise, I'm not risking putting out that money. I think that's everything that I wanted to cover. I hope that was helpful to you guys. It was a good learning experience. Watch out for 31 series Trendy CCs. Please inspect them. I honestly think it's the whole batch. Like, they're all like that. Every one that I've seen is crooked. So just beware. Maybe just wait for the next series or try to purchase the previous series one. Okay guys, I will see you in my next video. Bye.